A good day and welcome back to Bucket List Living with Brad Norwood. It is going to be an incredible show today. You know, this time of year, Georgia is always on my mind, but unfortunately with the COVID-19 going around, it's not Augusta. Instead, it's Savannah, Georgia on this day. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Cole, the owner of the Savannah Bananas on the show today. Jesse, thank you so much for joining me and welcome.
No, fired up to be with you, Brad. You're bringing the energy this morning. I'm pumped, man.
Dude, I love it. You know, you're contagious. I've searched you up.
And in a good way, hopefully. In a good way.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's right. We can't say contagious, can we? So I just got to tell everybody, we were scheduled to have a call about 3 weeks ago. And as I was looking at your LinkedIn profile and obviously your website and saw the incredible video. By the way, if you haven't heard of Jesse Cole and the Savannah Bananas, go to savannahbananas.com and check out their About Us video. But I watched this video, Jesse, and I called you immediately. And I said, Jesse, I've got to postpone this call if you don't mind, because I want the first time we talk to be recorded. I'd love to have you as a guest on Bucket List Living with Brad Norwood. And so I thank you for that. And I want to start with that story. Tell me the story of the Savannah Bananas.
Well, they say an overnight success has taken many, many years to get there. So we're very fortunate what's happened with the Bananas now, but it didn't start like that. I started as a general manager of a baseball team at 23 years old. How do you get that job as a GM at 23? Well, it's the worst team in the entire country. And we were absolutely brutal. It was 200 fans coming to the games. There was $268 in the bank account. And so then I learned as I took over this very low-performing team in Gastonia, North Carolina, we had changed the way baseball was and make it more fun and make it about entertainment. So that became really a testing grounds. And for 10 years, tested everything from grandma beauty pageants to, donut doggers, donut burgers, dancing players. I got in the dunk tank, giving away porta-johns, giving away colon cleansings. I mean, we tried it all. And we learned that fans really like having fun. And we asked ourselves the one question: what business are we in? What business are we really in? And we realized we were in the entertainment business. And so we built that up, fortunate to buy that team, later sold that team when we went to Savannah. And we had this opportunity to come to Savannah, Georgia. And so we came to Savannah. As you know, there was professional baseball for 90 years. And for the listeners that don't know, Savannah Bananas are not professional baseball. There's like Major League, AAA, AA, High A, Regular A, Low A, Rookie Ball, top-level independent baseball, top-level college baseball, and then there's us right down here. We're college summer baseball. So we realized we couldn't be the best at baseball. We had to be different. And so fortunately, or unfortunately, how you look at it, professional baseball failed here in Savannah. 90 years. The stadium, Grayson Stadium, Babe Ruth played here, Hank Aaron played here, Ted Williams, Jackie Robinson, you name it. FDR gave a presidential address here in 1933. This ballpark had history oozing out of it. Yet people weren't coming because it was just a baseball game. And the former minor league team, had just a couple hundred fans come in most nights, and so they left. And we convinced the city to allow a college summer baseball team to come in. And we were pumped. We were ready to take on the world. It was myself, my wife, our 24-year-old president, 3 22-year-olds. And we showed up that first day, and the phone lines were cut. The internet lines were cut. Everything was taken out of the ballpark. And we had so much excitement to share what we were going to do, but the community did not have that excitement. And we, in fact, only sold 2 total tickets in the first 3 months. And as the story goes, it got so bad that in January of 2016, 4:45 p.m. on a Friday, my wife and I got a phone call that we'd overdrafted our account. We were completely out of money. And this gives you an idea about the character of my wife, Emily. She goes, we have to sell our house. And at that point, we sold our house. We emptied out our savings account. We got an air bed. She actually, the first one, she got an air bed that was a twin air bed. Imagine sleeping on a twin air bed, all right? This is our first year of marriage. This was a whole disaster. And we were struggling, and we knew we had to go all in on Savannah. So we got down here, and we said, all right, let's go all in on the entertainment. Let's name the team after a fruit. Let's come up with a senior citizen dance team called the Banana Nanas. Let's come up with a male cheerleading team called the Mananas. Let's have a break-dancing first base coach. Let's go all in and get the attention first. And we did it, and it wasn't until the fans came to the first game, they were like, wow, this is something I've never seen. And they spread the word, and lo and behold, 4 years later, we've sold out every game and have a wait list for tickets in the thousands. And there's a lot of luck, but also it's our team for putting fans first and entertain always. And that's kind of who we are and what we stand for. And it's worked out pretty well.
I love that. I love that. And again, if you haven't heard the story before, check out savannahbananas.com and watch the video. Just incredibly produced, by the way, video and
In-house.
great story. Great. That was in-house produced.
Yeah,
I was talking with a guy yesterday. We were wondering who did that.
Yeah, and we have intern. We had an intern who was a videographer, and then if you watch his first video from 2016 to that video in 2018, 2019, you'll see how it progressed. And again, you just got to keep putting things out there. And he improved dramatically, and he's done an amazing job for us over the years.
That's great. That's great. So those of you watching online, you can see that Jesse's dressed in a yellow tux. Now, this is everyday wear for you, right, Jesse?
This is this is like in baseball. I played college baseball at Wofford. You have your uniform, and that means it's game time. And for me, this is my uniform, and it means it's showtime. And so anytime that I am working or I'm at the ballpark, I am wearing this because I believe it's fun, and I believe that's what we're doing. We're not really just a baseball team. I don't want to be like everyone else. We don't want our team to be like everyone else. So this is it. This is it for me.
I love it. And you talk about in your day-to-day being dramatically different. Mm-hmm. Tell the listeners, dramatically different. Why does it work? Why does the yellow tux work?
Well, if you want to make a difference in general, you got to first start with what makes you different. Because no one that does the same things as everyone else really makes a big difference. You got to be dramatically different. And so, for me, one of my biggest influences is Walt Disney and P.T. Barnum. And I thought if we're going to put a show on at our ballpark, and everything we say, it's our language. Welcome to the show. Did you enjoy the show? It's showtime. We're always on stage. Everything is about a show theme because it's not about a baseball game. And because we heard from so many people, baseball is long, slow, and boring to so many people that they didn't want to come to a typical baseball game. So we changed the language to be about a show. So that is kind of how we built this whole mindset. And for me, if I'm the lead owner and I'm the showman. I got to be dressed the part. I'm going to be on the field and taking selfies with fans and having fun and playing music and dancing and singing with 4,000 people at the ballpark. I don't want to be just like every other owner that sits in their box and watches the game. I want to be a part of it. And that's kind of who we are. And that's fans first.
I love it. I love it. So I know we said we can't use contagious during this time, but is it contagious? Have other ball clubs, even outside of baseball, maybe basketball, hockey, minor league hockey is kind of big, and they try to involve the fan experience. In fact, I think college football attendance is actually down because of television and the fan experience. Have you been a leader in the industry of fan experience?
That's never the goal, never the intention. We just state what we believe in and do it over and over again. But, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a lot of credit to the late Bill Veeck and the owner of former major league teams, the White Sox, the St. Louis Browns. I mean, he actually had fans manage a game once. He let the fans decide what there was going to happen in the game, and he put the coaches in the stands. He gave away 10 live lobsters to a fan once. He would just do crazy things. He was obviously famous for having the small person come up, Eddie Geidel, 3'7" in the game. But he was so far ahead of his time that the other owners didn't take to him, let's put it that way. Because he was so interested in what the best fan experience is. So I learned a lot from him. And now, to be honest, we hear a lot more from businesses. We get reached out to from billion-dollar businesses to small businesses on how we can help. And I think the greatest leaders and greatest organizations learn from outside their industry. Unfortunately, we're fortunate. We don't hear from any sports teams. But we're doing things just a lot different than them. I mean, just a month ago, we did a big announcement that we created the first ever ad-free ballpark. And we eliminated all sponsorship, all advertisements, everything for our stadium. That's not something that's going to be followed by this industry because that's where all their revenue is coming from. But for us, we believe that no one comes to a ballpark and wants to be advertised to. We believe no one wakes up and wants to be sold, but no one wakes up and wants to be marketed to or promoted to. So we don't do it. It's the same reason why we don't have any ticket fees. We don't have any inconvenience fees. We don't have any shipping fees. It's the same reason why every ticket is all-inclusive. It includes all your food and all your drinks because we want people to have the best fan experience in the world. For a lot of owners and other sports teams, the numbers don't make sense for them. It really bites into their profits. But we believe in focusing on long-term fans and not short-term profits. And if you create as many long-term fans, the profits take care of themselves. And it's worked for us. We've been profitable, and we're able to give back to our team because we're not trying to nickel and dime people every step of the way. So long answer to your question. In the sports industry, I don't know how many people are looking at having a breakdancing first base coach. I don't know how many people are looking into having a male cheerleading team. I don't know how many people are looking at hiring a grandma coach, which we're doing. I don't know how many people that have a team luchador, and actually a Mexican wrestler that's in the dugout. I don't know how many teams are doing that stuff. But for us, we know that our guide is we want to create the most fun anyone's ever had at a baseball game. And we want it to be more like a circus than a baseball game. Will that upset baseball traditionalists? You better believe it. But we're not here for them. We're here for everyone else that wants to have fun, that wants to get their family together, that wants to escape and actually have a great time and not sit there and watch a game. So that's who we are.
Instead of the old, hey, down in front, it's at Grayson Park, it's, hey, old man, put up your scorebook, stand up and watch the show, right?
Well, yeah, it's dance, it's sing. I mean, we have a sing-off with 2,000 people in one grandstand versus 2,000 people in another grandstand. We have Hey Baby where the players are on the dugouts and everyone's doing the Hey Baby dance. I mean, our players go on dates with fans during the games. Our players deliver roses to little girls during the games. It's all about that immersive experience. And it's because that's the questions we're asking. We put ourselves in our fans' shoes every day. And as an owner, my goal isn't to try to get as much money out of our fans. My goal is to try to provide as much value to our fans that they feel like we're taking advantage of these guys.
Yeah.
If you can create a product where every day your fans think they're taking advantage of you, you win in the long game. And so every day we're asking those questions. What can we do to create the best fan experience? And the only way you can do it is if you put yourself in their shoes. What I love about you, Brad, is like, what you're doing with DreamIT, like, it was for you to an extent. You're like, I want to do this. I want to create this. I want to go to these bucket list trips. That's what I want to do. And what would that be amazing for me? And then create it for someone else.
Right.
Realized as a baseball guy that played baseball my whole life, grew up around it my whole life, I can't watch an entire baseball game without getting a little bit bored. How could I expect anyone else who doesn't even know the game to watch it without getting bored? And if you watch a Major League Baseball game when they start up again, and they will start up again, watch for 2 minutes and look at all the people behind home plate and look at how many people are actually watching the game or they're on their phones or talking to the people next to you. That's a problem. How do you create a product where people can't take their eyes off it? And so we're constantly looking, how do we fix those problems? The next problem, baseball's too long. Even though every single game is sold out for us, fans still leave early. So that's our next problem. We're going to fix that. What would make it where fans don't want to leave early? We've already had idea paloozas with our staff to create amazing things that happen at the end of the night. Or maybe we look in the future at how do you make the game even shorter, which we've also done tests. So if you continually think about your fan, your customer in your sense, what would be the most amazing experience? And start by eliminating all the friction, eliminating all the things, the frustrations, which we've tried to do with every facet of our organization. Then all of a sudden you create raving fans and they're like, wow, what's next? They keep putting us first.
I love it. I love it. So enlighten me on the player side of things, because this is college summer baseball. What's the selection process? How do you get the players?
So yeah, our head coach handles all that. And I'll tell you, at first it was difficult, especially with our first team in Gastonia. They're like, why would we go to Gastonia, North Carolina? The team's never had fans come to it. We don't win. You have to create a culture that's very intentional. And so we're so fortunate to have head coaches the last few years. So the way it works is now we're getting over 1,000+ players that want to be on a 30-man roster because they know, and this is our commitment to them, we want this to be the most fun summer they've ever had. They're going to sign more autographs. Our first practice, 3,000 fans are going to show up to watch them play practice. We're going to be in music videos. The media's there every single night. We have all 4 news stations here every night. It's a different type of experience. And our commitment to them is it's going to be the most fun, but you have to give to the fans. You have to be out in the parking lot greeting fans as they walk in. You're going to be out doing videos and pictures with fans during the game. That's part of the experience. So how it works, literally, we get all these people that reach out. Our coach has relationships. Are you not only a good ball player, but number one, do you understand you got to give to the fans? You're going to dance. You're going to be on the dugouts being ring dudes that literally, like in boxing, hold the 9th inning. All right. You're going to, on Super Splash Day, you're going to have water guns spraying the kids and spraying the fans. It's supposed to be as much fun for you as it is even for the fans. And if you're not in on that, if you're just here to play baseball, you won't fit our culture. And we've had a few players, after a few days, hey, this isn't really for you. and we'll find a way to part ways with that. But that's, know who works out best for you and know who doesn't. And for us, it's as much as the entertainment and the fun as it is the baseball.
I love that you stick those core values out to the guys that come to play, because I'm going to guess that probably 9 out of 10 of them don't even move on to play at the lower A level professional baseball, but you're teaching those men the intentionality of pouring into others. And I want to thank you for that. I appreciate that. We talk about that in bucket list coaching is that intentionality, that list your core values and make them evident, reflect authentically everywhere you go. And so thank you for doing that with your players. I love that. On the intention, go ahead.
And I think it's so important that too, like, we've gotten better at this. We've failed this first. A player shows up, he gets a uniform. You earn the uniform. No one gets a uniform until they go through Fans First U, and they get a complete Bananas orientation where we show videos. We have past videos of players talking about their favorite moments and what it means to be a Banana. We talk about the fun. We show how Bananas actually play better because of the fun culture and the atmosphere. We actually had a professor do a full study. If you search on YouTube, Bananas play better. A professor did a study and found out that our players actually play better than any other team and during college because of the culture and the atmosphere. It proved the power of fun culture. So we show all that to them to understand what they're a part of. And I think you can say this is who you are and what you stand for, but how do you show it? How do you make them feel it? And that we spend over a day with them before they even get their uniform.
I absolutely love that. And if you're a business leader listening to this right now, take time out and rewind that and listen to that clip again. Because if you're not having fun at work, Bud Torkum, Mazama Media, you've got it nailed, my friend. But have fun at work, and that culture creates a win for everybody. And Jesse does a great job at that. With that intentionality, Jesse, I want to move into a little bit of personal aspect to your life, but a part of your business as well. Your wife, Emily, you proposed to her at your final game in Grayson, right?
Our final game at our former team, Gastonia.
I'm sorry, at Gastonia. I'm sorry, yeah, at Gastonia. So tell me about Emily and her involvement, your wife, obviously, but her involvement in the business and how that works, being married and business partners.
It's fun. I always joke and have fun, and it's hard for me not to get emotional when I think about Emily and the role that she played. Grew up in a small town in New York with 3 brothers, and she was the oldest. She took care of everybody. She learned from a mother who kept the household going strong through challenges, through adversity, through tough times. That's Emily's framework. You know how the saying they say, when you're on a plane, you make sure you give yourself oxygen first before you give it to your kid, which I never understood. I have a 2-year-old. Emily will never do that. Unfortunately, Emily always gives to everyone else. And so she started in the industry. We got together. She became our director of fun, ran our nonprofit program. And what she does now more than anything is she oversees all of our people and how do we plan things to take care of them. Right now, as we're going through the virus, she just literally wrote thank you letters to every one of our people, including their spouses and significant others, to send to them. She's come up with the idea of doing a pampering in the office that we did this past summer. In the middle of the summer, we had 4 masseuses show up, a facialist, a hairstylist. We turned the ballpark into a spa. She was giving mimosas out to everybody. We had a food truck show up. We had everyone's car washed by a mobile car wash. She's always thinking about those ideas. And, when we sent Marie, our Fans First director, on our bucket list trip, we have everybody, we have knowledge of everyone on our team. They sent this right when they start, so people forget about it. Favorite snacks, favorite food, bucket list trip, favorite music, things they never wanted to do, all they want to do. We have everything that we know, people that are closest to them. And Marie, our Fans First director, who's been with us since the beginning, that one of those 22-year-olds, her bucket list trip was Ireland, and she took over as Fans First director, her 3rd position within our first 4 years, and oversee everything our people. And so when we had our celebration dinner, which we have every quarter, Emily wrote a whole poem, which she does, and it rhymed about Ireland and stuff. And then there was some Irish beer in there. I think we had Guinness and Killian's, and it opened and said, you're going on your bucket list trip to Ireland. You can take anyone you want to. And what was so cool, she took her dad. And her dad, and her family was, being very open. She left school in North Carolina to come down to a team that was unproven, that hadn't started. Her parents were questioning, is this the right move for you? You're not making a ton of money to start. And she took her dad, and we were able to help provide for that. It's really special. Our former vice president, that it was huge Cleveland Indians fan, diehard Indians fan. When they made the World Series a few years ago, she knew the Indians meant everything to him. So we actually surprised him. She came up with this, gave him a toy airplane. I said, Danny, this represents how far you've gone with our company, how far you're going, and how you've taken everyone with you. And he goes, oh, cool, an airplane. I go, oh, yeah, one more thing. You're flying tomorrow to go to game 1 of the World Series. You're going with your dad. And when we called his dad started crying. His dad had never been to a playoff game. And they watched the World Series games together back in 1997. They had everything. They were the first ones in line on game 1 of the World Series. And it's a moment they'll never forget. And I think the job of leaders is to provide moments to your people, provide memories. And that's what we need to do. And it's not just money, it's not bonuses, it's experiences. And to come back full circle, that's what Emily cares more about than anything. She's a champion of it. And I think she moves our team forward because of it.
You know, I love that story, and selfishly, because that's what DreamIT does. We help companies provide incentives for their employees. And so talk about how you talked about the memories that creates. And I know you don't do it for you. As the owner of the company, you don't do it for you. You do it to reward your people. That's what a true incentive is. But what does that do for you when you see that, when you hear the father cry on the phone, when they're the first in line, when the employee goes to Ireland and gets to take her dad or even a significant other? What does that do for you as an owner?
It's everything. It's purpose. It's meaning. We talk about this in our Fans First playbook, but moments matter meaning. Create moments that show people that they matter, and that will provide deeper meaning. Moments matter meaning. And I think every owner, every company, I get it. They talk about return on investment, the ROI. Well, you know what we're talking about now? It's ROP. It's return on purpose. All right. What are you doing to give people more purpose in what they do? And I'll tell you, when you provide those special moments that they might not get provided by any other outlet in their life, that gives you deep purpose. We need to start caring more for people as people and not just for what they can do for us as employees. And so that's what we talk about. And so when we look at those opportunities, like, our videographer who we talked about before, he was a big, big, big Kiss fan, and it was Kiss's final tour. Of course, why wouldn't we get him VIP, meet and greet, front row tickets? Is that thousands of dollars? You better believe it. But that's a memory and a moment that he'll never forget. And so people, well, how do you do this? How do you put all that money into this? And you're throwing away all your advertising money. You're just giving all your money away. Well, no, it's built in. And we have profit share every quarter. A few years ago, we let our staff dictate their own salary, which was crazy. It was a 1-year experiment. All right. But now we build it in. And when we do a profit first system, which Mike McAllowitz, and we have different accounts, and we have a profit account. We have a percentage of that goes back to celebrations, memories, and experiences for our people. And so a month ago, before all this virus hit, we surprised our whole team with a trip to Disney, them and their significant others. That was a very expensive proposition, but the reality is it came right out of that profit. And how else would we rather do it? For an owner, is it better if you have $30,000, $40,000 at the end just sitting in your bank account? Or is it better to give those to your people to have memories they'll never forget? Where do you get more return on purpose or return on investment? And so that for us is an easy decision every day of the week.
I wish there were more people like you, not only for my business, but just out of the genuine compassion that you show for your employees. I tell people all the time, the team, corporate, okay, out of baseball here for a minute, but the team that has the most fun and gives the most high fives is going to win, quote, the most games, right? And I think you're living proof of that.
And we actually have a professional high fiver. So we actually hired a professional high fiver. So on that note, we looked all over to get a professional high fiver. We put an ad out. We couldn't find anything. And then all of a sudden, a 6-year-old kid and his mother came into our office, and he high-fived every single one. I said, you got the job, kid. And so now we got him a jersey. It says high on the back, number 5. And his job is to high-five between 2,000 fans a night, every single night at the ballpark. We're probably breaking all child labor laws by paying him, but the reality is he's our professional high fiver. And I'll say this, Brad, I appreciate the kind words about giving, but when you learn that you don't really need that much, it makes it easier. And so when I started in Gastonia, I couldn't pay myself the first 3 months. There was no money, but I saved a little bit in college. And my dad is such a mentor for me. He said, Jesse, always, whatever paycheck you get, save half of it and spend half of it. Live on just half your paychecks. So when I was making $27,000, when I got a big raise, I went up to $40,000. I was living the way I'd want to live because I learned how to do that. So, again, for me and Emily, if we have a little bit more money at the end, it doesn't matter as much. Give it to your people. So because we learned how to not have much and be happy with sleeping on an airbed with nothing, why wouldn't we give it to our people? It just became much easier because of our past experiences. We weren't used to making $100,000 or having the big success. That was our life. And I think when the owners or presidents get used to making so much, it's hard to come down from that and start giving it up. And we just always stayed low, and it made it a lot easier for us.
I love it. I love it. So you do so well at work. And Emily, a huge part. And by the way, I love the director of fun title. As an independent business owner and my family being part of my business as well, my middle son, Braxton, is who I call the director of fun. He's always got something going on. So I love that title, director of fun. But shift away from work for a minute, because I know you win at work. How do Jesse Cole and Emily Cole win at home?
Yeah, well, it goes into our three loves. And again, I've been writing for so long, we're able to kind of simplify it for us. We have our three loves. Love your customers more than you love your product. Love your people, your team, more than you love your customers. And then love yourself above all. And that sounds crazy. It's like love yourself more than you can't take care of your people. People can't take care of your team if you don't start by loving yourself and putting yourself in a good spot. And when I talk about this, people get uncomfortable. Oh, what do you mean loving myself? I'm like, again, it goes back to that. And, how do you give yourself oxygen first? If you don't have oxygen, you can't take care of anybody. So what does that look like practically? Big game changer for me was reading the book Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. If people haven't read it, it's a game-changing book because if you win the morning, you win the day. And that was the big starting point for me. So many people don't start their day on purpose. They start their day by accident and they press the snooze button. And I was one of those people. I'd go through email, I'd go through social media. I'd be working on other people's problems and other people's priorities and not my own priority. But back in 2015, I said, all right, I'm going to wake up on purpose. And he talks about the lifesavers, which is like silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. I tried all that, but I had to find my own mix. My own mix is the same way I've been waking up for now since 2016, for now 4+ years. First thing I do when I wake up, I write a thank you note. I start my day with gratitude. I've been doing this since 2016, the thank you experiment. I've written more than 1,500 thank you letters. I could say it's single-handedly been the biggest game changer in my life because of not only the connections it's built me, but because of the philosophy, the mindset I have every day of gratitude. Number 2, I read. So I read usually about 2 chapters a day in the morning. And so that takes me a good 15, 20 minutes. Then I write. I write in a journal. I've been doing this again for years. I just write things that are on my mind, things that I'm thinking about, help clarity. Then I do 10 ideas a day. And I've been doing this for now 2 years. Most of the ideas are crap, all right? But I've come up with about 7,000 ideas, but some are okay and some get utilized. And then I go for my workout and I do a run every day. For me, people have different workouts. I do a run and I listen to a podcast. It's like getting my vegetables. So I'm still getting some business ideas while I'm running and inspiration. At that point, again, it's around 7 o'clock. That's when I get my son Maverick when he wakes up. But from 5 to 7, I've already won. If nothing else happens during the day, my mind's clear. I was able to run, work out. I did gratitude. I thanked someone else. And now I can come to work and take care of other people. So that has been everything. And then, throughout the day, you think about what brings you energy. I have an energy list. What gives you energy? Brad, this gives me energy. Anytime I'm sharing, growing, and creating, that gives me energy. Look at your schedule. You're doing things that don't give you energy. And so that's how you can be your best for your people, your best for your wife, your spouse, your significant other. And that's worked really well for me. And so I would challenge people, you want to have a better day. Look at your morning first. Fix that.
Absolutely.
And don't watch the news as much. I'm saying this right now, but like Sean Aker did this study. He wrote The Happiness Advantage. And it's fascinating. He has a great talk. He said it was proven by if you watch just 5 minutes of the news in the morning, you are scientifically proven by the end of the day to be less happier than someone who doesn't. And that's only 5 minutes. How much right now are people watching the news? And I understand about being aware. I get it. But no matter what, it drains you and it gets you more skeptical and you don't see the fun and the happiness and the joy in life. You are just wondering what's happening. And so I think really I'm very strategic on the amount of news I watch and try to watch as little as possible.
I love that. I try to follow the same philosophy there. And for anybody listening, I just want you to stop again and just smile. Put a smile on your face, right? I mean, we have so much to be thankful for. Living a bucket list life, we talk about it all the time, isn't an extravagant piece of work. It's not airplanes and fast cars. It's living every day, as Jesse has just said, on purpose and playing with passion. And so, Jesse, I think that's a great place to wrap us up. Do you have anything else you'd like to say as we end?
No, I appreciate you. And I think we need more of these good, positive conversations. The fact that you talk about bucket lists and dreams, we need more dreaming. We need more of that. We need more thinking big, doing what people want to do. In my office, I've got a custom poster of Walt Disney, and it says, all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And I love dreaming every day. I love walking around the ballpark and just looking and asking, what if? What if? And we always so often ask, hey, well, what if it fails? Well, what if it works? Let's start asking those questions more and having fun. And you're right. It's been a joy being with you, and I really appreciate being on this platform with you.
I love it. I love it. Again, thank you so much for your time. Believe it or not, folks, this was our first conversation. Jesse speaks my language. I absolutely love what you do. And as Jesse would say, it's time for you to stop standing still and start standing out. This has been another episode of Bucket List Living with Brad Norwood. Have a great day. And remember, the bucket list life is a life worth living. Have a great day.